Sadly, I'm gonna be here every week. Nah, I'm kidding. I like talking to you guys, but it's hard sometimes, man. Today was hard. Like I'm gonna go work out after this, and uh, really wish I could just like run through the highlights before and then jump on. Delusional Texas fans respect though. Okay. Our tight ends were booty. Booty. Our tight ends are never used right, and then when they're used right, they either drop the ball or again, Cade Brewer, bro, you caught that ball, you were wide open, you could have got 10 to 15 yards, and you fall. Like, I can't wait till he's gone. No offense to him, but he's just ever since his sophomore year, he's been bad ever since then. And we haven't had a really big difference maker at tight end since what? David Thomas, Jermichael Finley. So yeah, that's a position. Jaleel Skinner, obviously, I still think we're going to recruit him, but I think he's going to go to Bama as he should. Yeah, again, I don't like this tonight where we're delusional. We're being pretty realistic. This team's a dumpster fire. You want me to say it? Texas sucks right now. I mean, this is definitely the low point. I had to make myself sit through that brutal, slow as hell fourth. I understand. And I wanted to watch that Alabama LSU game. I'm running it through a Roku, so I'd have to back out, go to a different, go to the ESPN channel and watch it. It's just too much work. So I pulled it up on my phone and watched a little bit on there. By that time, the game was already over, so I had to just sit there and basically watch. I mean, I would have rather gone outside and watched my grass grow. It was not fun. It was. I hate watching this team this year, to be honest with you, late in games, because you know what's going to happen, or it's going to be I mean, after that first drive, I knew it was going to happen. After Breece Hall just destroyed us on that run. It was not fun. That whole game was slow, by the way. I mean, it started at, 7:30 and ended at 11:15. And the only reason it didn't last longer is because Iowa State didn't want it to last longer. They could have just kept scoring if they wanted to. Sports Illustrated text channel had people predicting Urban at Texas next year. I mean, he'd be giving up a lot of money. He'd have to give a lot of money back. And then we'd have to spend a lot of money. I mean, you'd have to fire his whole staff. And then, I mean, that's a lot of money, even for Texas, man. You're asking boosters to spend like basically what the last 2 years, like $100 million on football coaches. I don't know if they'll do that. True. At least with growing grass, there is progress. This team has shown individual players have shown progress. The team in general has not. It's been pathetic. I didn't say 8-1. I said, what are we? We're 4-5. I think I said we'd beat Oklahoma State. We would have beat Oklahoma State, Baylor, and possibly Oklahoma. So no, I said at best we'd be. I don't know, my math's off. I know after like 40 minutes, my brain starts to shut off. To be honest with you, 7-2 at best. I said that's a possibility. I think that is a possibility. We were leading in literally every one of those games. I don't think we'd have lost against Arkansas. We'd have lost against Iowa State and possibly lost versus Oklahoma. So we would actually be 6-3 or 7-2 or 6-3. I think that's possible. Great. Calling tonight's performance a shit show, isn't it? Yeah, it is. That was good. I'm 100% sure I never said 8-1. I'm more than that. I'm 1,000%. I'm pretty sure I said 7-2. If you want to, I'm pretty sure that's what I said. Okay, if I said 8-1, I'm wrong and I am delusional, but I'm pretty sure I said 7-2. And that's, again, I didn't say we would be. I said there's a possibility. I think we would be 7-2. I didn't say right now we would be 8-1 with Sam Ehlinger. I think 6-3 and 7-2 is 100% a possibility if he was a quarterback. Hell, if we were competent in second halves, that would be our record. Well, he's actually really fiery on the field. Like, he gets fired up after every catch. Watch him. He flexes, does stuff. We don't really have anyone like that. So, yeah, he's a leader on this team, in my opinion. So, yeah. And he makes And he makes really good third down catches, like really important third down catches. So yeah, we missed that. And the problem is with Texas, we get into these long third down situations, and when you don't have your safety blanket, which is what he is, you struggle in those situations. Yeah, recruiting needs to keep hitting the only bright spot for us. Yeah. All respect though, because I love the passion. I love what you're doing. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. We need someone to watch winning, and he must feel like shit. Yeah, I don't think he's transferring though. Like if you've watched him do interviews on Orange Bloods, he basically has told Serenity, like, I think he said this. Maybe no, it was DeMar Van Overshawn. Never mind. Like Texas was his dream school. Maybe Jordan said this too, and he wasn't going to go anywhere else once he was offered. So I think he said that. I know DeMarvion said that. I'm probably going to go for another. Let's see. It's 12:01. I'll go another 9 minutes. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Thank you guys very much. And we can talk other foot things other than Texas because I think we've covered it. You guys want to talk the playoff committee, the invitational committee, the rankings, how shitty they were, or any other game? I mean, there were so many upsets today. I'm not shocked TCU beat Baylor. I'd say the biggest one I was shocked by was I wasn't even shocked by Purdue beating Michigan State, to be honest with you. Nothing really. If LSU would have beat Alabama, that would have shocked me. I don't think Alabama's the second best team in the country, but they're a hell of a lot better than LSU. So I don't think that's going to happen. He's had too good of a year. He's on the Blitnikoff Award. Like, he's doing everything, unless he's just like obsessed with winning. And even then, I just don't see it. If that happens, we're in big trouble. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think he's pretty solid, especially with the whole Michigan situation. I think it was kind of once he transferred from there, he's solid with Texas. I could be wrong though. Again, it's hard to tell because I'm not in the locker room. I'm not there legitimately covering the team. I don't get to ask these guys questions, so I don't know. Or I don't even get to. I've never heard Xavier really speak other than like one or two press conferences, and no one's really asked him that question. So, or any question like that. That's why again I don't know with Bijan. Again, if I'm Bijan, I would probably consider it for the simple fact if you go somewhere with like if he's at Alabama, Ohio State, I mean, this dude's average of 10 yards a carry, no doubt in my mind. So it's going to be interesting. How terrible is the Pac-12? It's really bad. It's really bad. I actually think the Americans better in the Pac-12. I think Oregon's highly overrated. I've said that the whole year. I've always thought them, Notre Dame's, they proved me wrong. They've been better than I thought they were, but Oregon's only that good because they're in the Pac-12. And SMU and Houston should have been ranked. That was a joke that they're not. By the way, I think there's a site I found it a couple years ago, and then Fanatic Perspective reminded me. I'm sure you guys know them. If you don't, go follow them. They do a really good job with Texas football. This Twitter account that basically releases BCS rankings, what they would have been, and they both have Houston's SMU ranked. They also had UTSA ranked. By the way, Wisconsin being ranked at 5-3 is a joke. Go look at Wisconsin's schedule, go look at UTSA's schedule. If you flip schedules, I guarantee you UTSA would at least be 5-3, if not better. So they should be ranked. It's stupid. And by the way, there's one great team this year. You can throw 3 teams in the playoff. It's not going to matter. I fully believe Georgia's going to win. I think Ohio State would have to play their absolute A game in all aspects to compete with Georgia. Not even to win, to compete. So why not throw Cincinnati in there? They deserve it, in my opinion. Just throw them a bone, put them in there if they go undefeated. I really don't understand in this type of year where you have one great team and the rest are or okay, good football teams that, like, in a past year, none of these teams would compete for a national championship. They just wouldn't. This is a special year where we have one great team. So throw Cincinnati bone, put them in there, see what happens. That's my opinion. How about Purdue? Yeah, they're a pretty good team. They're 6-3. Jeff Brom, I think they're kind of like the Northwestern of that side of the conference. I don't think they're on the same side. But I think they're the type of team where Brom can have them at like 8-4, 9-3 every like 4 years, basically, and then the other years they're going to be like a 4 to 6 win team, in my opinion. He's a decent coach. He's not a great coach, but he's probably the best you're ever going to get at a place like Purdue. Who would you put in the top 4 after this weekend? I would have, I mean, Georgia's 1. I'd put Cincinnati at, I wouldn't put them at 2. That's the thing. I don't even know who I'd put. I would go. I think if you're just asking me who I would put in the playoff, just based off the eye test and resumes, I would probably go Georgia, Ohio State, Cincinnati, and then I'd probably put. I'm going to put Oklahoma in there. I think you have to reward. I don't think they're playing great. I don't think they played that many good teams. So we'll see how they go down the stretch because they play Baylor, Oklahoma State, and I think they play Iowa State. But if they go undefeated, they'll make it, and those would be the top 4 right now. So we'd have Georgia versus Oklahoma and Ohio State for Cincinnati. That'd also be pretty interesting matchups, in my opinion. Sheldon Lee, thank you for joining me. Just popping in to say what's up and ask your thoughts on Okie State after today when compared to Oklahoma. Oh, I think Oklahoma's a better football team. I mean, I also think the mental factor. Yeah, thank you for the super chat, by the way. The mental factor there plays a part in it. I think Oklahoma State hasn't beat Oklahoma in like 9 years, so that plays a big role in it. But I think Oklahoma's a better football team. The only way Oklahoma State wins or competes in that game is if Spencer Sanders has one of the days where I talked about where he's capable of, where he can go nuclear on somebody. And I do eventually think he's going to do that because he has talent to do it, but he doesn't have the confidence, and his fundamentals waver from week to week. So that's the only way Oklahoma State competes or wins that football game, is he just goes nuclear on you guys. But I think you'll win that game, and I think you'll win out. I think Caleb Williams is a special talent. He scares me coming up in the upcoming years with Texas. So I think you went out. Like you said, I would put you in the college football playoff right now. Because you have to reward teams for winning. I'm tired of this style point nonsense. That's why you got rid of the BS. Was that not the main reason the BS was eliminated? Because the BCS would take into account how much you beat teams by. That the committee's not supposed to do that, apparently. But then again, they don't have a standard of rules. They could just go week to week, willy-nilly, choose who they want to put in there and do what's best for TV and all this other bullshit. So who knows? Jeremiah, I cheered for 5 teams across 3 sports and they all lost in one day. My luck's terrible. Who were the 5 teams? I'm interested to hear about that. CJ McDonald, how do you think Oklahoma would hold up against UGA? It'd be closer than people think because Oklahoma's offense is at least semi-explosive. That's the only way you're going to be able to compete with Georgia, by the way, is just have an insane day on offense, because their defense isn't – I don't think their offense is capable of scoring more than probably 35 points, I'm going to say, on a real – I don't even know, 31 points on a really good team. So I don't know. It's really hard for me. Their defense is so good. That's what gets me. But Stetson Bennett, I mean, I don't know if you can win a championship with him. This isn't freaking late 2000s, early 2010s with Alabama, and you have like John David Booty, or that was the USC quarterback. I'm trying to think of John Parker Wilson at quarterback, guys like that, or AJ McCarron, who are just like game manager types who make some big throws, but they miss on a lot of other ones. So, and Stetson Bennett's worse than that. So I don't know. This defense, again, is probably it's the best defense I've ever seen. It could be one of the best ever. So we'll see if they win with him at quarterback and they're only scoring like 24 points a game, basically in the college football playoff, is what I would expect with him at quarterback versus the teams they're going to play, 24 to 31. That's pretty freaking impressive, in my opinion. So I don't know. That'd be an interesting game. Trailer's just a really good human being. UTSA is going to be strong. Yeah, they are. And I don't think he's going to stay. I think he's gone after this year. I think TCU would be insane not to offer him the job. I think Texas Tech would be insane not to offer him the job. If you want worse, if you want nightmares, imagine the Texas offense versus the Georgia defense. The thing is, though, would Texas offense do any worse than they did today? If they played like they did today, they would. But I'm just saying, if you told Texas you're playing Georgia in a month, go prepare. Would they do any worse than they did today? I don't. I think they do exactly what they did today. Like, yeah, if they played this type of game versus like if you told them, well, we're playing Iowa State, and then Georgia showed up and they had to play them with the game plan they had and the energy level they had, they would have gotten beat like 56-0, and we probably had like 30 yards on offense. Jordan Davis would have literally buried Hudson Card and Casey Thompson in the ground. They'd be dead right now, and that'd be headline news. I agree with you. I mean, I haven't really heard anyone disagree with me, like in the comments of who are your four teams would be. Like I said, I guess I'd have Georgia, Ohio State, Cincinnati, and Oklahoma. Those would be my four. Alabama I mean, they've beaten Ole Miss, who's a good, solid football team, probably somewhere between 13 and 20th best team in the country. But other than that, they struggle with a bad Florida team who South Carolina destroyed today and Georgia destroyed last week. They struggled with LSU. This isn't a great Alabama team. They're just not. If they win out, they're in, clearly. But I really do believe the committee set them up. And if you look at the rankings, set up the rankings to where they can lose a close game versus Georgia and get in, which is total BS.